предыдущей части.
My thanks.
Warden, in the name of the Regent, I am placing you under arrest for the murder of Rendon Howe and his men-at-arms. Surrender, and you may be shown mercy.
Hey, come quick, you've got a prisoner down.
What's the matter with you?
Some things went amiss. Mistakes were made. The quartermaster got chewed out by Tern Logain, and then he chewed out the assistant.
And now to get back at us for landing him in trouble, the assistant quartermaster won't give us our blades. And you can't pass inspection without a regulation
Password.
sword.
Rabbit, I think.
Going on your first patrol, are you?
My
Good
father
luck.
has gone mad. I didn't believe it at first, but he is gripped by a paranoia so severe it prevents him from seeing sense.
Канал Ratuh Jorjie представляет
Hello again, Warden. It is good that you came to speak with me. First, let me say that I knew your family. Eleanor, in particular, was dear to me, and what Howe did was unforgivable. How fitting he died at your hands. I will be blunt. I can see that your voice will be a strong one in days to come. It is to you that Eamon listens, and with good reason. My father must be stopped. But once that is done, Ferelden will need a ruler. I would welcome your support for my throne. That is exactly what I am proposing. When the time comes, you support my bid in the Landsmeet to remain on the throne. You will be seen as my father's enemy, yet you will be in support of his daughter. You will be seen as supporting the interests of Ferelden, as opposed to solely those of the Grey Wardens. In return, I add my voice to yours. Do you see? Together we can do what alone we cannot. Do you disagree? You are a fellow Grey Warden. What do you think of Alistair's potential to rule? Never mind his willingness. Alistair seems like a kind, well-meaning man, and biddable enough. These are admirable qualities, if not kingly ones. He also seems to be a fine Grey Warden, which is exactly why he should remain one and serve the kingdom by defeating the Darkspawn. Oh, there are some who would follow Alistair out of respect for his Therin blood. The others would see this as Eamon grabbing for power. Who else do you think Alistair would turn to for help? Eventually, the nobility would return to the old days of constant warring with each other. Alistair's weakness would destroy everything Merrick built. My feelings towards Alistair have nothing to do with it. I barely know him. I simply believe that I am what this country needs. I will fight for what I believe. Would Alistair do the same? What say you then? Your support for mine in the Landsmeet? For years, I have ruled this kingdom as Kaelin's queen. As much as they loved Kaelin, all of the Banon knew this to be so. Kaelin was a good man, but what is needed now is not another good man, but a good ruler. I sent Alina here not solely because I thought I needed help, but because I saw an opportunity. For us both. What say you then? Your support for mine in the Landsmeet? He is my father, as well as a great general, who has served his nation well until now. If there is a way for him to live, I would prefer it. I will always be my father's daughter, but even I know he must pay for his crimes. It will not make me glad, even so. Does that affect your decision? Can we yet come to an arrangement? Ignoring that the man looks so much like Kaelin, my recently dead husband, if you'll recall, my main fear is that he might govern like Kaelin as well. But it is true that Alistair has Theron blood. To some, this is more important even than practical considerations. A union might be considered a compromise, but is this something Alistair even desires? Let me say this. If Alistair is willing to stand back and allow me to continue governing the nation, then I would be willing to have him as my king. It is my understanding that governing does not appeal to him anyhow. If that is so, this is a compromise I can live with. Do so. I will be interested to hear what he has to say.
So I'm guessing someone told Honora I was planning to steal her throne. She has a nasty glare. Did anyone mention this wasn't my idea? I think she's a great queen. As far as I'm concerned, she's welcome to it. I'm not a political man. I like being a warden. There's real evil out there, and it's something we can fight. It's something we can defeat. Making laws, settling disputes, that's not me. I wouldn't have the first idea how to do it. What do you think I should do? Go ahead and be king, just to let it happen? Marry her. As in marriage, as in be her husband. You've spoken to her about this? You did, didn't you? Why would you do that? Did you take a blow to the head? That's crazy. No, not perfect. Not perfect at all. I don't trust Honora any more than her father. And I'm certainly not going to marry her. Go and tell her whatever you think best, but I can't do it. Even if it means I have to be king myself. I'm sorry.
Well, have you spoken to my lucky betrothed yet? Or will we be reduced to passing notes? Oh, that's a shame. Hardly unexpected, really. Consider it forgotten. Now, as for the alliance we were discussing. Once I am queen, I will be in a position to grant you whatever you wish. And I shall. This is in addition to Highever being properly restored to you. That should go without saying, I trust. Alistair might promise you the same, I suppose. But I would ask which is better. The gratitude of a weak king, or of a strong queen. And even if it is not for you, think of what I could do for the Grey Wardens. Think of what I could do for your companions. I trust I have made my point. Tempting. You are of Cousland blood, it's true. Despite the fact that you are also a Grey Warden, it would be unprecedented, but a man like you could make a fine prince and consort. Is this what you are actually proposing? My hand for your support? And I am tired of ruling in a husband's name. If I marry again, it will not be to become a figurehead. If being a consort is not enough, then marry Alistair. Perhaps he will bend over more gracefully than I would. Ignoring that the man looks so much like Kaelin, my recently dead husband, if you'll recall, my main fear is that he might govern like Kaelin as well. But it is true that Alistair has Theron blood. To some, this is more important even than practical considerations. A union might be considered a compromise, but is this something Alistair even desires? Let me say this. If Alistair is willing to stand back and allow me to continue governing the nation, then I would be willing to have him as my king. It is my understanding that governing does not appeal to him anyhow. If that is so, this is a compromise I can live with. Do so. I will be interested to hear what he has to say.
I haven't been here in a while. They've changed the dining room. What do you need? Ask away.
Warden, let me know if there's any assistance I can give you. We have much to do and little time. We need to do all that we can in the few days left to us before the lands meet.
I haven't been here in a while. They've changed the dining. What do you need?
Well, have you spoken to my lucky betrothed yet? Or will we be reduced to passing notes? Ah, that's a shame. But hardly unexpected, really. Consider it forgotten. Now, as for the alliance we were discussing. That is good to hear. So, we have a deal, Warden. I trust you'll keep your end of the bargain. Now, I suppose, comes the task of dealing with my father. That will be no small feat, of course, but I am certain you already know this. I imagine you have much to do. Is there anything else you needed from me? No. And while I know your concern is hardly disinterested, still, thank you.
Yes, indeed. As you like.
Dwarf. Welcome, welcome. We sell only the strongest dwarven steel, folded over 100 times in the forges of Orzammar. In times like these, you... Wait. Ogren? Is that you?
You messed up your sales pitch, Gorham. You were just getting to the good part, too. See, this is why warriors make bad merchants. Oh, we go way back. He threw me out of the palace at least a dozen times for calling Endrin a nuglicker.
What are you doing here?
I'm fighting. It's what warriors do. But don't let me distract you from hawking your junk.
You're fighting? What army would have you?
The Grey Wardens needed someone with my skills to handle this blight.
Huh. And I've got a tower in Orzammar to sell you. Speaking of which, I have dwarven steel for sale. Every piece comes with a stamp of assurance from my wife's father, the best smith in Denerim.